Hey, what's been going on? Kind of a bad week for aviation. King Air 200 was taken off out of Wichita, Kansas, lost a left engine and went into the FlightSafety International facility. And Virgin Galactic lost Spaceship 2 in a crash. It killed one of the pilots, the other one survived. The thing out in Wichita with the King Air 200, I used to fly a King Air 200, so I know a little bit about that. That airplane maxes out at 12,500 pounds and it'll carry 540 gallons of Jet A. And flew it for years. It's a great airplane. Apparently this one lost the left engine and was only in the air for about 30 seconds and wham, right into the flight safety building. That flight safety building is where I do my training for the Citation M2, for the Citation Mustang, Encore. I think I did the Bravo there also. I think they got a Citation 3. So I've done a lot of training there over the years. In fact, my due month was this month. I was supposed to be out there this month, but I put it off. I'm in my grace month right now. But I really hated to hear that because those are some great guys. They have always been so helpful. You know, I just hate to see this tragedy befall them. And I believe that M2 Citation sim they have there might be the only one in the world. So that'll definitely put the training pack for that. You know, we really don't think about it, but every time we go there for training, the first day we actually have a safety briefing and we go through all the safety procedures, where the fire extinguishers are, the escape ladder to get out of the sim, emergency shutdown, all those things. Because these things are probably 2.5 stories tall and they're up on big hydraulic legs, and they'll move and pivot and move around to give you the sensation of motion in it. And if these things fail, you have to be able to stop them and get out of there, because there's a ramp that comes down like a drawbridge, and you walk across that into the sim. And if you lose power and that is up, well, you've got a rope ladder that you've got to drop out of and climb down the rope ladder. But you get in these sims, and it's like being in a submarine. It's all enclosed and it's dark, and there's only one way in and one way out. The two pilots sit up in this little cockpit area, and the instructor driving the sim sits right behind them. And it's just like flying the real airplane, but you don't think that I'm in this sim and I'm going to get hit by a real airplane like these guys did. That King Air 200 came boom, right through the roof with all that fuel and everything, and they were just trapped in there. There was no getting out. But back to the King Air 200 here. You know, the guy took off. They had some maintenance flights beforehand. It was in a pre-buy, I believe, so there was a lot of stuff going on with it. And he'd taken it out. Right after he took off, he lost the left engine. So basically, you're low, climbing, slow, probably heavy. You would want to feather that left engine. If you can't feather it because of whatever reason, maybe a mechanical problem or your inability to do it for some other reason, that airplane will tend to yaw to the left, because you're getting all that drag on the dead engine. That prop is just spinning out there, creating drag. And that'll pull the airplane to the left. You normally use the rudder and aileron arm to compensate for that, but it takes a substantial amount. You know, it'll wear your leg out, and you have to really be on top of it to catch it. And it looks like this guy didn't, and it just kept going left, drifting to the left, and just finally right down into the flight safety building through the roof there. I mean, it's going to have ripples throughout the corporate aircraft community, because it's going to restrict access to sims for training, sims for check rides. And if you're doing 135, you've got to have your 293, your 297, all that stuff. You're going twice every year. Fortunately, I'm doing the Encore this time, and they got Encores in the other building, so it didn't affect that. And they also got them down in Orlando, where I'm going to. You know, one thing about this King Air flight safety accident is we as pilots, we go to training and we're in the simulator, simulates everything in the real jet, but we never imagine flying it and all of a sudden colliding with a real aircraft that fell out of the sky. You know, I just can't even imagine. You know, we as pilots, I guess part of our personality is that we tend to be very confident. And we also tend to be competent people, but we tend to be very confident. And we think no matter what happens in that airplane, I'm the guy to deal with it. You know, pilots, they're all alike. They all think that they're better than the next guy. You know, I fly with Bob over there, and I'm thinking, boy, you know, I like Bob, I like flying with him, good pilot, but good thing I'm here in case things go bad, because I can take care of it all. Bob over there's thinking, well, I like flying with Jim. Good pilot, good stick, but good thing I'm here just in case things go south, because he might need me to pull his ass out or something like that, you know. That's just the way pilots think. They all think that they are the best pilot. They are the most qualified for that airplane. And we just don't, in our minds, you know, something like this airplane coming in through the ceiling and hitting you in the center. I mean, that is just out of our normal realm of thinking. You know, something that could happen that would just be totally beyond what we could deal with. Unless the wing fell off. Even if the wing fell off, you just fly it down to the ground. Boom. Just the way it is. So I want to tell a little story here about something that happened when I was a flight instructor. This is probably 24 years ago. Actually, it was Little Rock, Arkansas. I was a flight instructor there. There was a Beechcraft Bonanza, a very nice low-wing single-engine airplane. They said, well, the owner's got a friend, and his friend, he needs to get recurrent, and he wants to start running the Bonanza. He's a great pilot. Would you go out with him, get a few landings, you know, familiarize him with it, and that way he can go out and fly the airplane, run it. Okay, all right, I'll do that. So this guy comes out, and nice enough guy, big guy, kind of a farmer. We go out and we talk about it, and we get in the airplane. The first problem here is a number of these Bonanzas came with what's called a throw-over yoke. If you look in the cockpit of an airplane, you've got two seats, and you normally have two yokes. The yoke being, you know, what you're manipulating to steer the airplane with, basically. But this one had a throw-over yoke. So it had one arm that went over like this. And so the guy driving on the left seat, he is manipulating the controls through this arm. And it had a pin in the center. And what you could do is you could lift this pin, and this arm would rotate all the way over to the right side. And now whoever was in the left seat would not have a control, but the guy on the right would have the control. We're both pilots. He's supposed to be a good pilot and have all this experience and stuff like that. And we get in this airplane, and so the throw-over yoke goes over on the left side. Now I do have an extra set of rudder pedals on the right. I can push the rudder pedals, brakes and all that, do the radios. And so we take off, everything's fine. We fly around a little bit, and we come around and we're gonna do this landing. We're lined up, I think it was 2 right before they built the parallel. It was a fairly wide, fairly long runway, and we had a crosswind coming from the right. So the fella does a nice flare. We touch down, he lowers the nose, and immediately the airplane starts drifting towards the left. And I tell him to put in some more correction. And it starts going more to the left. And I tell him to push on that rudder, and it really comes to the left. And I reach over, because I think he's lost his crosswind correction, and turn that yoke to the right to keep that wing from lifting. Well, I'm thinking we got more wind than we thought. And I'm laying across, pushing on this right rudder. And all of a sudden now, I'm pushing with everything I have. You can't get too much leverage if you're laying across like this. We're going to stop it. And I'm thinking, oh no, we're going off the runway. We're about to take out runway lights. And sure enough, shoom, we are off the runway. We are friggin' cross country in this thing. And it's like a high-speed tricycle. I mean, you can't turn it too fast or it falls over. You know, if you've ever been on a tricycle going real fast, you only have so much control. And as soon as we come across, all of a sudden, it starts coming back to the right. It's like all of a sudden, whatever was pulling us to the left went away. And we're heading right back towards the runway. It's like a little berm that comes up, and where we go through the lights again, I'm saying, oh shit, we're going to take out more lights, and boom, boom, boom. We're back on the runway. I'm thinking, oh my gosh, I can't believe that just happened. And we taxi on down the runway, and we turn off, and we don't say anything to the tower. You know, we just tell him we've cleared the runway, and he gives us ground, and we talk to ground, and he never says a word. And we get out, and we're just like, what the hell just happened? We get out of the airplane, and we talk about it, talk about crosswind correction and landings and all that stuff. And I go talk to the maintenance people, tell them what happened, say, look, you need to really inspect this gear, make sure we didn't do any damage. Fortunately, we didn't. All we did was go cross country. And it was hot summertime in Arkansas, so the ground was just baked. It was hard. We didn't hit any runway lights, didn't take anything out. Nothing was damaged. The guy kept saying, I'm so sorry, I'm so sorry. And I'm thinking, I can't believe it. I'll never get in another airplane with a throw-over yoke again. That's just crazy. And I didn't. But I get a call from the guy the next day, and he says, man, I am so sorry. And I finally figured out what had happened. Well, I said, well, yeah, we didn't have enough control in there for the crosswind. He said, no. He said, it had been a while since I'd flown, and I kind of got mixed up on the rudders. I was pushing the wrong rudder. He said, when you kept telling me to put in more rudder, I was putting in left rudder. And sure enough, and he had overpowered me, being a bigger guy, and I didn't know he was pushing in the wrong direction. Sure enough, his left rudder input had drawn us over to the left with more and more input. We drifted over until we finally just went right off the runway at high speed. As soon as he did go off the runway, he just let go of everything. That's why the airplane came back, and now my inputs are bringing it back. Fortunately, I was also holding back on that yoke to keep that nose wheel up, and that kind of helped with jumping back up there. So the whole point of this is, be careful if somebody wants you to do something and they're saying, oh, don't worry about this guy, he's great. Throw over yokes, you better think twice about that before you do some kind of instructing an airplane with a throw over yoke. I don't know if they're still making Bonanzas like that with those throw over yokes. Maybe they are. It's been a long time since I've flown one. I remember at that time, people really wanted to get rid of their throw over yokes and buy the dual yoke, but it was much more expensive to get those. So what have you been up to? What do you think about this flight safety accident? That's a real tragedy. Those people have been really nice to me, helpful in a lot of ways. Just really hate to hear that. I think they're supposed to be, pulling them out here tomorrow or something like that. But keep them in your prayers. As always, fly safe. Like, comment, subscribe. I'm going to put a link down below to my flight safety video that I made there at Wichita in that building that got hit. And it's of the Mustang sim and some of the other sims in there. Kind of give you an idea of what all that stuff looks like in there. And thanks for watching. Appreciate it.